on grey areas on Wednesday and Friday.
The Going Greyhounds multi through Sky, of course. Warm Cockles and Vincent Bale, top three, $3.50. That's available under racing offers. There's also a venue mode only offer, Unreal Speed and Smooth Plane, both to win at $5.50. There's the Meadows Greys winners, box one, 3 winners or more, $2.50, $6.50, 4 or more winners for box one, and $26 for 5 or more winners at a box one. I took one of these today with Kieran Maher and only got a couple. I backed him $18 for 4 winners. You know, you look at the big trainers and you think it's just like back in the red at the Dogs. Okay, let's go to race one now. We've got $2.50 the field here, gents. Aston Barton for Ben Magri. Which way are we going here, Nate?
I went 6, 5, 1 and 7. I went with the 6 Shimmer Blush on top, a greyhound. It's had a bit of time off, done a satisfactory trial at Geelong in fast time over 400. Didn't really perform at Ballarat on resumption Wednesday night, but it has run 30 O's here, and I think it gets a nice little cart in the race. Dog number 4, Dongula Don, will want to get down to the fence. I reckon can get a nice card in. So 6 on top, Shimmer Blush for mine. 5, Shimmer Ballard. The kennel mate's certainly a big price. I thought he was an eye catcher when winning at Ballarat on Wednesday night. He went up $10, so he's into 5. He's been well supported, but he's a greyhound's got plenty of upside. First look at the track and distance, Some Query. Aston Barton in for 3rd. Lacks a bit of early speed, but very strong. Ran home quite well at Sandown on Monday night. And then for 4th, number 7, Felix Amelia. She was a winner here of a grade 7 race on Wednesday night in fast time. Doesn't have a great deal of early speed, but this race is somewhat void of early speed, so can offset the wide draw. 6, 5, 1 and 7.
6, 5, 1, 7 for Nathan Rooney in the first at the Meadows, an Australian Cup final night. Also the Group 1 Rookie Rebel and the Group 1 Fanabelle Stayers. There is that Tim Zoo offer. It is a beauty. Might only be max $10, but to run top 3, $5. A whole bunch of other specials through the Tab app. Check it out. Just getting out to $2.70 now is Aston Barton. And Nace on top selection, Shimmer Blush is at $3.60. We do it all again with the one and only James Vandermark for night 3 of the Australian Cup Carnival. Hello, James.
So the starting signal, hello to you, Marco, and to the lads on Sky Racing. It is a big, big evening ahead. 3 Group 1s, the Rookie Rebel, the Fanabelle Stayers, and the big one, the 2025 Sportsbet Australian Cup. Ripping night ahead. Let's see how it plays out. The first race, they're moving in. And it's a nice warm night for greyhound racing. Good crowd in the car parks, chockers, and they're set for race 1. The first of 12, stand by for a jump. And they're racing. The favourite, slow Aston Barton from the inside, and jumping well, Doongala Don's going to find the lead, settling over Shimmer Blush, who slots in leaders back. Wider out, Phoenix Amelia now challenges the lead, tracked up by Paul Harris, and they're 4 or 5 to Shimmer Ballard, who starts to run on. 3 lengths, Wyong Jamison. Aston Barton's a minute off them, and Rev Pirate at the end of the field. Phoenix Amelia, it worked around and taken the lead from Paul Harris, and then Shimmer Blush as they turn. Phoenix Amelia turn with a kick, still a length in front, and Phoenix Amelia won the first by a length and a half over Paul Harris. 3rd, Shimmer Blush, and then Doongala Don 4th in, followed by Shimmer Ballard. Rough start for punters. Aston Barton was well back at the end with Wyong Jamison and Rev Pirate. Time at 30:11. Was just able to loom up outside of the pace.
7, 8, 6, 4 after the first from the Meadows, the 6th and 7th grade going the way of Phoenix Amelia. Tom Daly starts off with a win, 1st and 3rd in fact. What time have they gone here, gents? 30.096. Not a bad start to the night. 5:12 that first section. Thoughts?
Began quite well. 5:12 was most probably quicker than we had it mapping when it won here last week, 5:25, and was able to lead all the way on that occasion. So it was a race void of early speed on paper, and it was a matter of what was going to get in front and control the race, and the outside boxes kind of did that. Doongala Don, as we touched on, bit of speed, wanted to get down to the fence, but he really brought the outside brigade into it. Felix Amelia was able to lead and then dictate from the front, dragged Paul Harris over and an honest race in 2nd. Shimmer Blush was up there throughout. She'll get fitter for that run, no doubt. Only his 2nd run since the early part of January, so he'll continue to get stronger with racing. And then 4th with the early pacemaker of Doongala Don, who desperate for the inside. He goes okay, but wait till he draws box 1 or 2 going forward.
We're underway. Australian Cup night, ladies and gentlemen. It's, gee, good to get that one out of the way. And we move on now to the JRV Vicbred Maiden Series final, which is coming up at 7 o'clock in around about 16 minutes' time. And we're going to unearth some superstars very, very soon, Patch.
Yeah, that we are. One in particular in Tribeca. But outside of Tribeca, Nath, is there one that you think might not be its night tonight, but going forward there's more opportunity?
Yeah, I'm very intrigued with Without a Trace. I know we touched on him last week, Jason. His first start, he wanted to use plenty of the track. He didn't really have the opportunity last week off box 2. Dog in his inside was bumping him, and he really didn't get any clear air. But down the second part of the race, from the home turn down the straight, he got to the rail and he really closed off strong. It'll only read, 30 and 30 in the book, but he lost plenty of ground in the early stages. So I'm really intrigued tonight. He's got box 1, he's got Dungala Rocket in 2, who we know has got a bit of speed and will move up the track. So what he's shown, or what she has shown in the first couple of weeks, she's got speed. Last week we've seen her have no luck early and show a bit of strength. So with the pole box draw here in box 1, wide runner in 2, it'll be the one that I'm really keen to get a good read on tonight, what it can do, and then moving forward, I think we'll have a bit of a clearer idea how good Without a Trace really is.
So Without a Trace, I mean, she looks to be one that does want to get to that, well, she'll use a little bit of the track, at least in her first couple of starts, but it's not a raging force to get off. So can that be just an experience thing and being green and something she might not race with going forward?
Yeah, well, when we watched the replay of her in the first week, she had box 4 on debut, and she did take a step to the right and held that mid-track line. And then last week she drew 2, and we were just anticipating it to get up the track, but it never really had the opportunity to. But when it was in clear air, it was happy to be on the rail. So that's a good indicator. When there's nothing around you, you really kind of pick your path where you're going to run. And when nothing was around it through the back half of the race, it was happy to go to the fence and follow the rail around. So I haven't got a true reading on it whether it really wants to get up the track. It was just that first start. It took a step to the right. Now, that was first time at the race. There's a lot of inexperience. Could have come out in the wrong leg and just went right before it balanced itself up. So I think tonight with box 1 and a wide runner in 2, we'll get a bit more of an idea of the pattern it wants to run. And I think it's got plenty of upside. Its runs have been more than impressive. So it might not be able to beat Tribeca tonight, but I think it's a maiden going forward that we can follow.
When you say wrong leg, and Mark, you can join in here because that's a real thing in horses, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Is it such a real thing in dogs?
Yeah, 100%. So obviously, ideally, your dogs, when they're in the boxes, they're dead still, nose on the grill, so to speak, and their feet, set really, back feet and front feet. But some dogs, like to paw or move up and down. So then when they go, they're not balanced. So they might take that step to the right or step to the left because they're unbalanced. And that's most probably what Without a Trace did on debut. Just wasn't quite balanced. First time at the race, was all excited. Had to go through the kenneling, had to go through, the stir-up, 8 other dogs. Wouldn't have had that experience ever. And then it just come out a little bit sidewards. But it didn't really get the opportunity to do that on start number 2. But yeah, it's a greyhound. It's got plenty of upside.
Yeah, you'll notice them change legs, or the horses definitely when they straighten up. So when they go down the side of a track, they'll go on their inside leg, but then when they straighten up, they'll probably switch over. That's why you see so many in the straight. When you watch a horse's legs, they'll switch over and they go quicker and they'll accelerate. And you watch a guy like Joe Moreira on top of a horse, he can get them to switch at the flick of a whip. He's a freak. He's a freak. If you go back and watch it closely enough, and Nate's suggesting that it's quite similar with the greyhounds, especially on straightening. They can.
And if you're a good trainer like Nathan Rooney, you've got that ability to change it up as well.
Oh, you don't have ability. It's just one of those things with box work. Like the key thing as with young dogs is to try to get them as comfortable and as settled and still in the boxes as you can. And you notice some of the big trainers like Tom Daly and that when they put dogs in the boxes, they're really slow on setting their feet, making sure they're 100% straight before they close their lids. And people go, oh, why is he taking so long, or why is he in there playing with its feet? Because all they want to do is have them set in the perfect position. So on box rise, they're not moving and they're coming out evenly and perfectly.
Repetition.
Yeah.
Repetition. Make sure that the dog knows that that's the position that they need to be in.
Yeah, it's like in the barriers. You don't want a horse going backwards and forwards or moving. They put the barrier blanket on, or they've got a handler in there. Keeping it straight, keeping it still, keeping it relaxed. So it's got the best opportunity to come out the gates. It's no different with a greyhound in the boxes.
Could talk about this sort of stuff with you all night, Nathan. We'll probably get a good chance tonight. We're going to roll right through this evening, and we'll get some guests throughout the night. A little preview as to what's coming up here on Sky Racing Active. We'll try to pinch some guests, some handlers, some trainers, and if we can get any other people of note. Patch is the big hitter in the JRV circle, so no doubt he'll be able to get probably Scott Wukash as well. I think would be great for a chat. The CEO of the Melbourne Greyhound Racing Association, I think we're still calling it, the Meadows. Looking forward to catching up with Scott later. Before we do all that, I want to just run through the markets for the evening to see who's firmed, and just stop me if you hear me say something that you think's incorrect or you disagree with a K chance. In the JRV Victory Maiden Series, Tribeca obviously very short and has been very well backed. I'm still a bit iffy on the draw. $1.30 is obviously short enough, and we know that there is a lot of talent to come. Hot Nanu was one that I thought improved last start, second up, can probably improve again. Maybe not enough to win, but you're getting $1.90 to run top three for those 1x3, 1x4 kind of players. Doongala Rocket has also come in. This is obviously with the scratching of Legacy, as well as without a Traces. Runes has already mentioned, nothing seems out of place in that market, does it?
No, I don't think so. I think they've really honed in on boxes, 1, 2, 3 and 5. They are the key players. They've been the key players throughout the 3-week series. So be very surprised if one of them 3 or 4 doesn't win.
The only thing that doesn't look right is $1.30 favourites in maiden finals.
Yeah.
But some dogs are just better than that. But we know at this level of
Is
experience...
there one of those, though?
Well, he ran 29.72 last week, the quickest of the night against Australian Cup dogs and the quality of greyhounds we had here last week, even though it most probably got the ultimate conditions, winning a maiden in 29.7, 5.03, 17.6 up the back, 12.10 home. Like, he's ticking all the boxes. He deserves to be $1.30, but you're taking $1.30 from box 5. If you had box 1, he's most probably a 10s on pot. Yep. So you're just going to have your heart in the mouth that he just comes out and gets over in the first 20 metres. If he does,